girlfriend say she gonna leave him. I don't know. Whatever it was, it worked. It definitely worked for him. So, yeah, man, it was. I was happy. I was happy.
Kev, the floor is yours, man.
I just want to give a quick shout out to obviously, Fred, Dawson, Ryan, Barnett, and like Garrett and Brooke and all those boys, like those lifelong loyal Bucks fans that stood with it all these years, telling me, it's coming, it's coming. So like I said, I got to eat my words. I predicted the opposite, but the only thing I really got to say is, man, we live in history right now. Like we are witnessing something that I don't know if anybody could have ever imagined has happened. We've witnessed a man go to the Super Bowl 10 times and win 7 of them. Like, he did it with 2 franchises, partnering with Peyton Manning as the only 2 quarterbacks to ever do it. But the way that Tom did it in the fashion that he did, being a wild card team, going on the road and beating 3 straight teams to then be the home team in the Super. I mean, like it's like a fairy tale. You know what I'm saying? Like for Bucs fans all over the world, Bucs fans especially in Tampa, like I can't even imagine what that feeling is. Like winning a championship as a fan is incredible. Witnessing your team win is amazing. But to be the home team, like that's got to hit on a whole different level. So I mean, like again, shout out to the city of Tampa. Shout out to those that have been supporting these boys all these years. But overall, the game as a whole, it was to change the tune a little bit. It was a bit of a disappointment, not because the Bucs won, but because the game itself. It wasn't an entertaining game. You really thought this was going to be a blow for blow, goat for kid, goat for kid. You know what I'm saying? Tom and Pat go back and forth. And, like I had made the prediction last week that if the pass rush were to get to Patrick, it was going to be a nightmare. Granted, it happened, but I didn't think it would have been as bad as it was last night. You know what I mean? I really thought Andy would have had a better scheme, like I had said multiple times. But there was a sports or a stat fact or something like that. Patrick Mahomes scrambled for over 490 yards last night, just trying to elude pass rush.
Yep.
He was what, pressured or rushed 29 times out of like 50 dropbacks. Absolutely over 50%. You're telling me this man had no time to throw basically the entire game. Just to me, there's just one word for that, and that's just dominance. Just pure, unadulterated. Like Tampa just came out there and said, "Yo, I'm punching you in the face, and you're not getting up."
There's a reason for that though, and we noticed it. Like we could see it, like in real time. Because the one thing that I noticed specifically about the Bucs' defensive strategy, right off the get-go, they had 2 safeties back the entire time. They played 2-man, and they never got into a situation where they played 1 safety at the top. They never played single high safety. That to me was big, because here's the thing: when you have those two safeties instead of 1, it means Tampa's saying to KC, "We will let everything go underneath. You are not beating us deep. You are not getting us, and you are not torching us like you did earlier in the season with Tyreek Hill doing what he did." So that was the first thing. If Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce want to do these 5 to 10 reception plays instead of the 50-yard ones, I think Tampa lived with that. They even lived with Patrick Mahomes running out of the pocket and scrambling to get first downs instead of him doing his shtick by running out of the pocket, throwing it to Tyreek Hill 50 yards down the field and getting a huge play out of it. So they were basically forcing KC to basically throw the ball underneath and make of it what they could. And the one thing that KC did not adjust to was they didn't run the ball. When you're in a situation like that, if you're trying to get Tampa out of that 2 safety look to get them to stop playing so far back, you got to run the ball, because at some point, if you start running the ball effectively enough, it'll pull up one of the safeties, because now they actually have to account for the run, and then that's when the Chiefs could really hit on some really big chunk plays. Because if they pull the 1 safety down, the safeties have to account for the threat of the run. And it never happened last night. So that was really what I thought was an adjustment flaw that KC didn't implement in the second half. They started with it in the first drive in the third quarter, but after the first drive that they had in the second half, they basically just relied on Patrick Mahomes to make all the plays. Defensively, though, for the Bucs, I don't think they could have played this any better. They got pass rushed. They didn't get beat deep. They barely had any. They had barely any pass interference calls or holding penalties. I mean, they were really sound defensively last night. So you have to give a boatload of credit to Todd Bowles. And to be honest with you, Kevin and I, we were talking about this on Twitter today. The Bucs defense could have arguably just pitched the best defensive performance in Super Bowl history. I think one that probably recently could come up is the Patriots, what they did to the Rams a couple years ago, but it's Jared Goff against the Patriots defense. It was the Bucs defense going up against Patrick Mahomes. Just, you could make a very valid case that what the Bucs did in this Super Bowl defensively was one of the best performances ever. So I know Brady got the MVP for Super Bowl last night, but I'll tell you what, Todd Bowles definitely deserves at least a half of that MVP trophy as far as I'm concerned.